No, you've been misinformed. It wasn't a particularly dark night. The moon shone half, accompanied by Jupiter and its own moons. Reflected light casting shadows on the road, across the bridge, down the valley. The points of interest. A can-do operation. The rain, though. The rain. Not a whole lot we could do. The rain canceled air support. Communications broke down. Our task force was, under any circumstances, too small to prevent North Korean infantry from flowing around both flanks. Fear spewing out the eyes of both sides. Pop, pop, pop. Rounds clutching death, accenting the constant clamor of droplets on helmets, on rifles, on leaves from above, harmonizing with incessant waves of nausea. Stay alive. Years passed. The final day. Hours later, the sun raged above the Kimpo horizon. Korean forces had not turned back, as the American troops had speculated. By mid-morning, Task Force Delta was pushed into a disorganized retreat with over 150 casualties and the loss of all equipment, save small arms. Another casualty.
Hello? Howard Andrew Rapach.
Hello?
Andrew.
Fought in the Korean War.
You're not going to be the tallest man in the world.
Will not be the most impressive part of his oxygenless excursion.
Rapach. Yeah, pretty much.
He set a world record in 1990 by holding his breath for 6 minutes and 41 seconds.
I have no idea who Howard Andrew Rapach is.
Porcelain jacket.
Oh, I don't even know what
But
Merville
he
means.
slowly shut his personality
I
down.
lost track of a lot of my family years ago. I mean, direct contact, you know what I'm saying? Here's what happened.
Yeah, Howard Andrew Rapach is
Over
going
the
to be
years.
city in Michigan.
Yeah,
Is it going to tomorrow?
When we all drift apart and so on.
No.
And Howard Andrew was living where in Michigan?
To see if there's other members of the family. Andrew Rapach.
It's not what it takes. So tell me why.
We just got back in the trip.
It's one of those things, you get away from that. My own family I got away from, so you just don't have the money to travel all the time to see them, and nobody wants to write, so it's one of those
42
things.
men killed, at 85.
I served in the war from September 1951 to July
The
1952.
2.36-inch rocket launcher.
Fall offensive and Korean winter 1951-52. Old Baldy, Imjim River.
Westward enemy attack.
I tried to contact him, and I actually had some correspondence with him, 2 letters or 3 letters. I think we wrote to each other, and I was quite surprised that he was only 61, and I didn't expect him to go like this, because he was in pretty good shape, I thought, and holding your breath. I didn't expect that to have a heart attack doing
Private Darrell Fitzpatrick, Private South. A heavy-duty clip clamps his nostrils closed. He then spent his last remaining years documenting his attempts to break Guinness World Records.
Oh, okay. Oh, your relative. Okay, great.
On videotape. It was a day like this that my house burned down.
We had 2 other more stranger type of records today, actually, in the Bock Snorkler and the Worm Charmer. I go in any of those events that I can, any time that I have the time and I can make it.
He wanted to have people swim through a trench in the nearby bog.
It's kind of a rush. It's something that you can't imagine. You're swimming basically in what feels like pudding with coleslaw in it. I mean, there's just, whatever, and you can't see anything. Having goggles is basically there just to keep the mud off your eyes, not so you can see anything. Snorkel is just basically part of the competition, but once you're underwater, you're not coming back up again.
Bogs were once thought of as a place to communicate with gods, goddesses, and dead relatives.
And his ashes committed to the Pacific.
As offerings, people tossed in cauldrons, jewelry, pottery, teak, even human and animal sacrifices.
Mabel.
I just wanted to stop by and see a gentleman that kind of has a little bit of my dad in him, and the fact that normal guy gonna break the world's record or attempt to on something that you can do by practicing, basically.
The then vicar of Flanwarted reckoned sulfurous water.
This is Rapach, but there's no Rapach.
Anna got a rattlesnake, and she knew about it. So what I did, I carried her. When we were walking from place to place, I would carry her. Of course, back then she was much lighter. So now that guy got the idea, and finally I started, why not to carry the wife. And I don't know whether you're familiar with it or not. You carry the wife on your shoulder like a sack of potatoes, and then to add a little bit.
How many sets of glasses are we talking about? Are you talking about eyeglasses?
He had a special interest in Shackleton's biscuit. Sir Philip Bracklehorst. Rapach says she likes Miss Schlesinger's views on homosexuality. Shiny boots of leather for the biscuit. Whiplash girl child in the dark. Comes in bells, your servant.
Is this a joke?
Don't forsake him. Strike, dear mistress, and cure his heart.
Speaking.
Is this she?
The biscuit is now safely kept. Need to start.
Yeah, with Brocklehorst.
The biscuit is now safely kept in a cabinet at home, well out of reach of Van Heften's puppy.
I tried to contact him, and I actually had some correspondence with him, 2 letters or 3 letters. I think we wrote to each other, and it was quite surprising.
1,000 dreams that would awake me. Different colors made of tears.
Quite all time for their left. Mistake left undone. Seth, Sir the Femist, begin to consume me, and nearly swallowed me whole. Severin, speak so slightly. Severin, down on your bended knee, taste the whip, in love not given lightly. Taste the whip, now plead for me. I'm tired, I am weary. I could sleep for 1,000 years, 1,000 dreams that would awake me, different colors made of tears. Holistic vibration from core, through mantle and crust, out of rock up to dirt that was once dry but is now holding my boot quite firmly fixed, and fixed to that spot I failed to move toward my friend's final fate. I sustained with error impossible to forget now. Beautiful web of love and freedom. Daryl was a good man. Genuine. Always within and without. Is her world standing still, I pondered? Certainly, for what is worth nothing that is not worth assembling? Everything. I breathe within. We nod and move out.
Yeah, that's good.
I did quite a bit over the years, you know, all those days in radio. There was some narration, and certainly in television. I spent the better part of 4 years as a commercial announcer. It was a professional role for which I got paid, and I, was given assignments that assumed a certain maturity, and somehow I did them. I don't know what they sounded like, but I had, at that point, I had been pretty active in speech and theater and debate, so I could be a little glib and I could read a script. And in those early days in radio, a lot of it was reading scripts, the news, commercials. I didn't often do this. I was a teacher, I had a sabbatical leave 1 year, and we went to Cambridge University.
Correct.
I was a visiting scholar.
Okay. Give me your name.
And
Okay.
wrote a book, by the way,
Okay. Is there any
on
way
cable
that,
television.
and the third
Anyway,
case,
I digress. Somehow, the kids really were at an impressionable age.
That's good, I guess. Right.
14,
Yeah.
13, 15, 17.
Okay, that's correct. All right. Thank you very much.
Mabel.
So, can you tell me where you put them? At least I'm gonna get some for myself. Okay? You should have told people. No, my brother is freaking out. No, I understand. I mean, I'm part of one with the earth. Family is freaking out. So if I can just get some of these ashes, please. Wow.
I tried.
Worms and fishy.
To the earth.
Worm. Great. God. Shovel.
The earth.
God. Whoosh. I'd like to take some. Thanks, man. I hate funerals.
I know. I wasn't really too close to any of Howard's family members. And I wouldn't say, he was close to them either, and I really...
Breaking records in...
I felt closer to Howard than I think a lot of people did.
Howard.
And I felt that I knew what his wishes were, and the way he would want to have been remembered, and the way his remains would have want to have been treated.
They are all through the years.
That's actually the second.
Spoiled and stuff.
He's not married, he's never been, he'll never be.
Taking the bog, snorkeling through the section of the bog.
Was it a bull? Try to...
Everything.
In the pool. But I know that you are into some sort of snorkeling. I got you right here. But 5:15.
It's got palm desert stone.
He was a snipper.
She has to grab on me, like the meters. And you got water, sometimes mist.
So you are in the Guinness World Book of Records for charming. Charms 511.
Tuning forks, you know, any sort of thing that makes gives a nice pitch. You can stick pitchforks in the ground and hit them. Anything that causes vibrations into the ground, such as this.
Summon them up from the ground? Wow. We usually just take a hose.
Disqualified if you use water. You can't use any sort of liquid.
What's the baby doing?
It's a sad thing. You ready, guys?
Only a minute?
Oh, that was just a minute. I felt like 10 minutes. 1 minute and 9 seconds. That was a minute and 9 seconds. Well, we have to use him.
Wife Kerry.
Oh, really?
Yes.
More harder fun. That crazy old man. To break world records, that was his plan. When the war was through, he returned to his home, a changed and silly man. He preferred to be alone. After seeing Shoppy die, he was never quite the same. Only through some I think I asked him. When our friends toward us, all his effort, in the end he was a fool. Poor Uncle Howard who died in his pool.
Wow. That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Isn't that something?
Yep, worm charm.
No, ask him on what he
Yeah,
does.
what do you do?
Boxing doing his competition, and Guinness showed up.
Something common then.
Yeah.
Just walking around.
You go see my Grammy. Hi, Grammy. How are you?
From what I heard, he just stuck in his house and tried to break records.
Do you guys have horses? Do you guys have horses still? I'm actually a vegetarian now.
No threat to your cows from her.
Yeah, I love your cows.
The young people, everything is a joke because they're a little bit of a troublemaker. That's
I am Caroline. I use some Rapach.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're relative. Okay, great. I in fact helped him train a little bit. I kind of taught him some of the techniques to kind of get him ready for his final record breaking. You know, I taught him some of the Zen techniques I use with getting in touch with the earth, becoming one with the earth and worms. I kind of tried to integrate that within his, you know, the water. You know, trying to get him in touch with the water.
6 minutes.
Hi, I'm Karen.
So how long can you hold your breath?
Thank you. I see a picture of
and charmer. You want to put in the water. Oh, you want to put it in the water. Oh, he was talking about it. Put it in the water.
Okay. He's not supposed to be parking here anyway.
No, he said he wants to go back to his origin.
I don't know. I don't trust him. He's sleeping with me.
we are going to get fired if we do not find his ashes.
He said he wanted to put it in the water.
Who wanted to put it in the water?
Someone is in there?
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
Wow.
Oh, goodness. They're going to be...
A member of the
The funeral lady just said that they're shining it up.
People touch it and they get their prints on it.
Probably for the next group of people
Sure,
that
it's
come.
okay.
I thought maybe they stolen that too.
Oh.
Stolen what to? Did you say? Yes.
Is this car still here?
A rental car?
Yeah, it's a rental.
I mean, you think we should call the police? I mean, it's your...
I have no idea. I hold his breath really long and stuff.
No.
What? He's in the earth. He's in the earth. What the hell are you doing? me.
Return Howard to the earth.
And it's you. You put him back into the earth.
I've returned him to his element. At least somebody can understand.
And that is a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Sir, what did you do with the earth?
He's in the earth. He's in the earth.
Hey, you need to consider other people's, priorities and things.
His
before you
family
go
does
ahead
not
and do
seem to
that.
understand what he would have wanted.
Yeah, I mean, you think that just because you're doing this big deed and putting him back into the earth, you can hold your breath for longer, right? I mean, you rub him into your body all over the place.
Oh, it's in an undisclosed location. Undisclosed.
Where is this, Daddy? I think you owe it to the people inside to go tell them that you put
You
them
need
in
to
the
go inside.
No, Mr.
Howard on his face. He said he's one with the earth now.
I'm sure you're mistaken.
I need a drink. Is there any place I can get a drink?
Not here, I'm sure.
I can't handle this.
And to be quite honest, we're not sure how you fit into all.
I'm his
this.
daughter.
His mother is very
Well,
upset.
I am a Rapach. Look what happened.
Yeah, well, something better happened.
Tom, is that true?
He's where he wants to be now.
And is it true that he rubbed it on his face? Because that's what I saw. I saw him rub the ashes on his face. I mean, I didn't see him actually do it, but I saw him come out of the trees with ash on his face. Where's Terrence?
This has never happened.
Terrence.
You have a security person here or somebody you can call. If you can, just keep all of the discussion over there, okay?
Okay.
In the meantime, if you could, either you or one of your co-ops could call again or get some sort of security here to find out if this really happened. I don't really think anything happened. I think there's some confusion about something. You know, at funerals, people always get a little strange, so she's just a little disturbed.
Well, they're so foxy. They know just what to do. Some people are so foxy.
Well, I wondered about him when I first met him.
And grandma, my grandma, I guess, has no idea what's going on. And that the man with the white hair, Ed, he keeps trying to hide it from her. I don't know what his deal is.
Maybe you should just calm down.
Are they here?
No.
Isn't that pretty embarrassing to get the police that's so
Yes, it's pretty
deceased?
embarrassing to spell it all out.
Well, don't they say ashes to ashes, dust to dust? So I'm sure he's happy now.
I mean, my family knew. I mean, I was hoping for maybe to take some of those ashes for my own. I'm weirding out here.
Yeah, so?
He said he wanted to be one with the earth. Where?
And you thought it was such a good idea to have Uncle Howard's strange friends here.
Let's go get Worm Charmer and Am show us where we put the ashes and get them back in the urn.
I really don't want to talk to any of those people, to be honest.
Oh, don't you think we should do
Howard's
something?
strange friends.
Don't you think we should do something so people don't start freaking out? Don't you think we should try to get the ashes back?
I'm not that concerned about Howard's ashes.
Well, I wanted some. I mean,
What would you do?
okay,
Rub 'em
I'm
on
gonna
your
go
face as
outside.
well?
What?
What would you do with that? Rub 'em on your face too?
No.
I mean, he was always your favorite uncle. I
Yes, he
don't
is
understand. I never understood him. Never understood why you liked him. So why you expect me to come in here and help and figure this out? I don't know. It's just another one of Howard's strange things. I'm not surprised this happened at his funeral.
Why don't you just go home? You know, if you can't.
I'm here to take care of Grandma because nobody else would. And that's what I'm going to do. You take care of the ash problem.
I will.
I became the bad man. Yeah, he's over here.
Like, see this? To put it down, and I
Yeah.
mean, you don't want to get busted.
Right.
They were in-laws of mine, so I don't know any of the Rapaches. I'm divorced from my husband.
Recognize they had not just exchanged vows,
You believe your mistake.
and before the others, there were others.
Gee, I had no children. The one that I had died.
What the hell did you get her? There's 6 of us left alive.
Severin, speak so slightly. Severin, down on your bended knee. Taste the whip. In love not given
What do you
like
mean?
thee. Taste the whip. Now bleed for me.
Fuck them. You know, really. I mean, they didn't know him. I felt like I knew what to do with him.
Yeah, good night.
You know?
Okay, she really doesn't want to talk to you.
Well, I
I'll
guess
make
that's
your
what you
apologies
get
for it.
for. It's not my fault that I'm Howard's daughter. It's not my fault.
That's not been established yet.
And I'd like to build a relationship with this side of my family. And if
Back then, I was gung-ho as anyone. But over the years, my opinion of war has changed, or at least become complicated. Looking back on the death, agony, profound waste, and devastation, I now see it as the product of a moronic mentality handed down by our club-swinging ancestors. When do you think will be the final day?